Hello and welcome, brave adventurer, to the final part of Khare, City Porter Traps. Welcome to part 15. In our previous video, we climbed the imposing ziggurat, met Khare, the god of grace, and fashioned a new spell, gaining a wooden black mask. It's time for us to finish this story. You walk between clawing trees and thick bushes. The north gate is finally in sight. You can see its imposing, ornately carved wooden doors over the top of guard huts and low buildings that lie at the end of this road. Select Look at the guard huts. You pause a moment to watch the guard huts. They seem quite still, and one has a hole in its roof. Weeds grow through the chimney of another. Are they abandoned? Remember back to what Khare said, that there were no guards at the north gate, and it appears that he was right. Between here and there is a long road, lined with thick and gloomy trees, a patch of wild forest like you've never seen before. Select Go cautiously. You march as carefully as you can, being careful not to crunch too loudly on the gravel, but something catches your eye. There's movements in the shadow on both sides of the road. Torchlight. Select Stop and look. You duck into the shadows and see characters moving in the darkness, a lot of them. Then a gleam of moonlight catches one and you clearly see what it is. A wolf clad in tight metal armor. No, a werewolf. And the armor is the same as the one that you saw before. It sniffs the air and has caught your scent. Select Vic for first noble. The werewolf stretches itself down on its haunches and whines. From the trees behind, a ruffian steps out, leading several more werewolves behind him. Well met, friend, he answers. Vic for first noble. Select Ask him about tonight. He looks at you in bafflement. Tonight is the night. Where have you been? Have you been hit on the head? You need to get yourself sober, my friend. Select Nod. You're right, you admit, and he laughs. You're going the wrong way. The fight is this way, and he points along the road back to town. Select I'm checking the rear. The man nods. A rear attack when we face the guards in front could be serious. Good idea. Go well, friend, and I hope you find nothing. With that, he whistles to his wolves and sweeps away into the night. You breathe a heavy sigh of relief. Select Continue. And go to the flag, the north gate. Finally, you have reached the north gate. The ground before it is wide and clear, and lit by blazing torches set into brackets either side of the enormous sealed doors. Should there be archers hiding in the shadows, they would have a clear sight of you. Off to one side is a well, but there is no other cover. Select Stride over to the gate. Throwing caution to the wind, and trusting Khare's advice that there are no guards, you step out of the shadows and approach the gate. Time to see if you've learned enough in your travels through the city to unlock the gate. Select Continue, and go to the flag, the north gate. You reach the other side of the clearing unscathed, and stand below the enormous doors. Before we continue, you want to check for any final traps. Select Cast a Spell. And the spell we're going to cast is Sus. Select S, U, S, and cast. You cast the spell, looking for danger. The doors themselves present none, and your spell cannot reach beyond them. However, you have a strong sense of peril coming from the well. You hear scraping noises nearby. Select Recite the spell. You knock firmly on the door. When there is no response, you call out, "I am here to open this gate." There is no response. You begin to wonder if you've been tricked, if there is no gate here at all, and this is simply an illusion, painted across a solid stone wall. Suddenly, you are not alone. A phantom voice issues from the wood itself. "Halt, stranger," it booms. "Do you know the spell which controls the gate?" Select I do. But suddenly you realize you do not know which order to recite them in. "Then I await your command," the voice booms. From across the clearing, you hear a scrabbling sound of metal on stone, and there is no time for that now. You close your eyes and try to recall the scratched poem that you read in the sewer chamber. Kruger's grace, one lock, deep inside, I bid you. And you begin. Select by Kruger's grace and Fugger's pride. Something is definitely moving in the corner of the clearing. We cannot stop now. Select one lock made of golem's hide. The voice awaits for you to continue. A low humming emits from the wood itself. Tumblers too seal deep inside. The humming inside the gate is building. And finally select I bid you portals, open wide. You stand back to see what effect your lines have had. The voice has gone silent. Select look around. You look around towards the well. It is crawling with figures, long claws and flashing swords, and hunched bodies scrabbling in the dirt. Goblins. It looks like the army under the city has chosen this moment to attack. Then the gate creaks. The tumblers drop, and the wooden panels begin to move. The door is opening. Booming out, the voice declares, "The gate is under your control." But it is moving slowly. Looking over your shoulder, you see an army of goblins emerging from a well shaft, and they are racing towards you. Select Stand and Fight. You stop, one hand on your sword, your mind searching for spells, but there are already 40 goblins or more in the clearing, with more appearing. You cannot hope to defeat them all. Behind you, the gate to the Balkans is open, and you hear a noise from outside, a screeching sound. Select Look through the gate. You turn and look through, peering into the darkness of the wasteland beyond the wall. Figures are moving, more low figures. They are calling to each other, moving towards the opening door, preparing to rush into the city. The goblins for them well are slowing down now and fanning around you as they watch. Are they planning to attack the figures outside the wall, or are they waiting to be joined by them? Select Close the gate. You must save the city, despite knowing it will trap you inside and end your quest. You heave on the gate to close it, but it will not move. Command me, the voice booms in your head. You control me. Select Tell the gate to close. Close, you command, and the heavy north gate swings shut and slams. At the sight of this, the goblins of the well charge forward, screaming and raging. Select Dash into the shadows. There is no way you can fight 100 goblins, so you dash aside into the shadows. Select Continue, and go to the flag near the gate. The goblins pour up to the gate. Are they going to try and ram it? But then they stop, and in their midst a small figure is being propelled forward. It must be Sansas. He is surrounded by a guard of nearly 20 goblins. Select Kill the figure. Sansas is about to betray his city and open the gate. He must be stopped. Select Attack. You scream forward, sword raised above your head. The goblins are so startled that they do not react quickly enough, and you close the distance between yourself and their king and heartbeats. You swing, preparing to strike the killer blow, when the man with the circlet turns to you and says, in a cold, commanding voice, "Do not strike me." Select Kill him. You do not pause, but strike him down, severing his head clean from his shoulders. As he dies, there is a look of surprise on his face, as if he did not believe you'd be able to disobey his command. The circlet of dull metal rolls away across the ground. The goblins roar with anger. With Sansas killed, they do not know the spell lines. They are beginning to try and form a ladder with their own bodies, but the wall is high, and they are clumsy creatures. Select Cast a Spell. And the spell we're going to cast is Hot. Select H, O, T, and cast. You cast a spell, building a fireball in your palm with crackles and glows. The nearby goblins see it immediately and turn towards you, rattling swords and advancing. Select Hurl the Fireball. You hurl the fireball into the oncoming army, sending up 4 or 5 goblins in one violent explosion. But the others are not afraid. They raise their swords and move forward, fast and ready for your blood. There is no more time for magic. Select Draw My Sword. Pause the video here and continue once 2 goblins have been defeated. Select the option Keep Fighting. Pause the video again and continue when 2 more goblins have been defeated. You pause for breath, but there are more goblins coming. Stop! A spectral voice rings out across the yard, and the next moment, you find you have moved. Select Continue. In the darkness around you, figures are moving, pouring towards the gate into the city. Inside you see the goblins still coming. Select Close the Gate. Gate, you command desperately. Close. The gate obeys immediately, swinging shut like a trap. From the low hills around, red-faced marsh goblins are springing up and pouring towards the sealed gate like flies on a fallen ox. They begin to scramble up on top of another, trying to bridge the wall with their own bodies. Select Destroy the Goblins. The goblins must be destroyed. As though on command, a ghostly figure forms in the air above you. You control the gate, the figure whispers. Use it. You stare at the figure. It is Lorak the Scholar. What is he doing here? Select I don't know how. The goblins are reaching to the top of the wall now. Some have bows and are firing burning arrows into the forest around the gate. You control the gate, the wizard shouts back. Use it. Select Try. It is hopeless. How can you use magic you do not know? You close your eyes, feeling your anger and frustration rising. The hated goblins, this meddling spectre, the long and difficult road behind, and the one still to come. all seem to bite into your very soul with wolf-like teeth. There is suddenly a terrible sound and a smell of burning. Select Open My Eyes. You open your eyes. There is not a goblin in sight, just blackened grass around the gate and black soot in piles on top of the wall. The ghost nods slowly to you. All the hatred of a whole city, of thieves and liars and murderers, stored for centuries. A little leaked out into the red eyes. The rest was waiting for this, for one strong of heart enough to use it. He gestures to the path ahead. Go. Be safe. The road is long. You nod and turn to go. Select Continue. Select the flag outside Khare. From a short distance away you look back to see the plain outside the gate is quite empty. Not a single marsh goblin remains. Not a short sword or hooked pick. It is like they've been wiped from the surface of the earth. And inside Khare, something similar must have occurred, as where there was the sound of clashing swords, there is now only silence. You have saved Khare. A foul city perhaps, but not one whose citizens deserve to die by a goblin sword. You turn your back. Your own road lies ahead, through the plains and on towards Bangpang. Select The Balkans Await. Remember the words of the site master sergeant as you left the outpost settlement. Once you have crossed the city port of traps, you will enter the Balkans. They say the day and night there are controlled by forces other than the sun, and from Khare too, your progress will be watched. Select Continue. And select the flag to Badu Bak. Your journey across Khare is complete. In the course of your journey, you rescued an elven from the Red Eyes, saved the city port of Khare from destruction, and your spirit guide was replaced by Korga, the god of grace. You learnt the truth about what the crown does, a riddle about the sleepless ram, and that silver weapons harm the undead. You collected a fantastic number of magical artifacts, a large lump of beeswax, a cloth skull cap, a pouch of sand, nose plugs, 3 pebbles, 6 blimberry potions, 4 goblin's teeth, a black face mask, a green haired wig, a gold-backed mirror, a bracelet of bone, 2 sun jewels, and a bamboo pipe. You also found a bottle of poison, a bottle of bark essence, a serpent ring, a bow and arrow, a fire of danger, and a tinderbox. You are armed with a legendary sword, the armband of sword mastery, and your original sword. You have plenty of rations and gold, and a spellbook. Select Continue. Very well done to you. And with that brings our walkthrough for Khare City Port of Traps to an end. I'll see you all in the next video. The adventure continues in Sorcery 3, The 7 Serpents. See you next time.